I'm Ted Keyes in Pasadena, California. Welcome to my Tuesday conference call, a free, high-powered meeting I hold live every Tuesday for top-producing freight agents. Go to tedkeysonline.com for complete call information. Then join us weekly to see new, serious, struggling, and experienced sales professionals move more freight efficiently, effectively, effortlessly, and make more money financially. So watch my recorded call topic highlighted there on your screen right now. Then go to tedkeysonline.com and hear more podcasts, read more blog posts, watch more videos, and while you're there, visit my Freight Sales Success Store for top-notch freight moving products to explode your business today. Enjoy watching and applying my Tuesday conference call. Hello and welcome everybody to my Tuesday conference call. I'm Ted Keyes, your host here in Pasadena, California. This is a free, high-powered meeting I hold live every Tuesday for top-producing freight agents at 2 p.m. Pacific Time and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. On the call today, I'll show you how to move more freight efficiently, effectively, and effortlessly so you make more money financially. And after the call, go right on over to tedkeysonline.com to hear more of these podcasts. Read more of my blog posts, watch more of my videos, and while you're there, visit my Freight Sales Success Store for my top-notch freight moving products to explode your business today. And while you're at my website, go to the contact page, enter your contact details, and receive your personal weekly invite to this call. And once you do that, you'll also receive my free report, which gives you a lot of information. That's this one right here, 11 ways freight agents will increase their income. Today's training topic is indicators that scared your freight prospect away. Indicators that scared your freight prospect away. However, before I get into that, as usual, on that email, that personal email that I send out to everybody on Tuesday during the day, you will see that I have a number of attachments down at the bottom, of which the first that I always talk about is our agent leaderboard. Just go ahead and scroll down to that email, provided you're on my email list. Again, if you're not on my email list, do what I told you earlier. Go to tedkeysonline.com, go to the contact page, enter your contact details, and you will receive your email invite to this call. But the first thing we just want to go over real quickly, guys, is our agent leaderboard from last month. Just to show those of you that are with my office, your goal is to get your name on this leaderboard. Once you see your name on the leaderboard, go ahead, work as hard as you diligently can and as hard as I teach and train you, and see your name rise up this leaderboard. That's the purpose of the leaderboard, so you can actually see the results that you're putting in and see that they're actually paying off. So, congratulations to all of you that are on there. Keep up the great work. So, let's go ahead and keep moving on here. And let's talk about my main topic today. Indicators that you scared your freight prospect away. Indicators that you do that in doing so scared your freight prospect away. The last thing you want to do is scare anybody away. Unfortunately, when we get into this profession and we make contact with the marketplace, we unfortunately, because we don't, just have that training yet, we're not into that rhythm yet, we scare some of our prospects away. Well, there is a reason why that happens. Obviously, we're not doing what we should be doing. But here's some indicators that I'm going to go over today where you can actually see if your prospects are no longer communicating with you. That gives you the idea, or it pretty much confirms that They don't want to do business with you. You basically scared them away. But let me just talk about this topic a little bit. Unfortunately, and I say that again, unfortunately, our prospects may be initially skeptical of us freight agents. Yes, unfortunately. Why is that? Well, because sales elicits these unsavory labels and objectives such as persuasion, cold calling, intrusive, trickery, and, well, just plain yuck. Typically, when that topic comes up of sales, people just think, oh, yuck, another salesperson calling me, another telemarketer calling me. And unfortunately, that's just how it goes with our industry. However, today's modern freight sales agent has to work diligently, frequently, to overcome their prospects' preconceived notions in order to get their freight moving in any direction. But as exceptional and seasoned freight sales agents know, sales isn't about cold calling and trickery anymore. No, it is not. Provided you're doing it correctly, it is not about cold calling. It is not about trickery. While most agents still cling to these outdated and cringe-induced tactics, skilled agents have stopped taking these wrong turns and embraced a new methodology. And that's a methodology that I teach you, by the way. Our prospects have changed as we freight agents must adjust to their changes, not to our changes, but to their changes. Modern sales is about building trust and not persuading someone into buying something they don't want or require. Nor would I want you to call anybody that doesn't require your freight service. Here are 7 behaviors that scare today's freight prospects away very quickly. 7 behaviors that I'm going to go over real quickly here. The first behavior is that you called or emailed them way too often. First is you called or emailed them way too often. I don't know about you, but I typically screen my cell phone calls. Really, who doesn't? If the number doesn't show up in my contacts, odds are very high that I won't answer right away. And if the caller doesn't leave a voicemail, I won't call back either. This approach isn't uncommon, which I would venture to say that this is most of society. Telenet, a fact-gathering firm, Telenet actually found that it takes 3.68 initial calls on average for a freight sales agent to make a connection with a freight prospects. 3.68 calls before you or a freight sales agent will actually make contact with their prospect. Now, that tells you that you have to make a few calls before you actually make contact with your prospect. Does it not? And calling 4 times before someone even answers, believe it or not, is too many calls. Calling too much can overwhelm your prospect and cement your reputation as a stalker. Today's freight prospect isn't interested in taking your call totally cold or answering an email from someone they've never heard of. They're way too busy for that. So, what's your answer? I mean, really, what is your answer to this? Well, it's not just about calling and emailing with a spam type message over and over again. That is definitely not the answer to this dilemma. Remember, 12% of your prospect's biggest frustrations is freight sales agents being too pushy, aggressive, or even being disrespectful. Instead, warm up the interaction so that your prospects will pay attention to your calls and emails the first time, not later on down the line, but actually the first time. An action as simple as liking someone. Here's a great example. Liking someone or liking something a prospect posted on Twitter or engaging in a discussion with them on LinkedIn makes your name familiar and helps build your credibility. Those are just several small ideas of how you can start building credibility with your prospect right away. Use your emails and phone wisely, and that's only when you're legitimately adding value. Remember, your highest goal, calling anyone, is to add value. I'll talk a little bit. I'll talk more about that later. So, your first indicator is you called or emailed way too often. Indicator number 2, you didn't let them make the next move. That is indicator number 2. You didn't let them, your prospect, make the next move. As I said over and over, every freight prospect is different, and it's important to remember that their individual buying journeys are different as well. I go over that a lot when I talk about different personality types. Here's an example. Some prospects only have themselves calling the shots, so a decision to move their own freight can be made relatively quickly. Another example is other companies are looking at the big picture and attempting to decide among several decision makers which freight broker agent they're going to use for the next 10 years. That's an example of a larger type decision. Either way, every company is different. Tom Atkinson found that 26% of prospects' biggest frustrations is when a freight sales agent doesn't follow their company's buying process. 26%. That's 26%. If you don't follow your prospects' buying their process, you're going to be mixed in with that 26%. Agents must adjust to buyers' different preferences and schedules, plain and simple. This means offering them guidance and not attempting to force them through their company's sales funnel. What I meant to say is forcing them through your sales funnel. Forcing prospects through your funnel only makes them feel like they aren't in control. Whenever anyone is looking to make a purchase, they require time to think about it and to do their due diligence according to their own journey. Why do you think it takes so long, so many contacts, on average between 5 and 12, before you actually get a load moving with your prospect? I'll say that again. It typically takes between 5 and 12 contacts before you actually move a load with your prospect. So, number 2, let me repeat it again. You didn't let them make the next move. Indicator number 3, you didn't personalize your messages, either your phone or your email. One more time, you didn't personalize your messages. A pain point for one business might be a strength at another. Again, companies are different. Everyone has their own different struggles and challenges to solve. It's up to you, the freight sales agent, to spend time getting to know your prospect's business before they reach out and attempt to solve your prospect's issues. You've got to reach out and build a relationship first. In today's world, scripted sales calls and emails will only send you to the no answer or no contact pile. Non-personalized messages will only drive your prospects away because they have absolutely no reason to care for you. And why should they if you're just, acting or reading from a script every time you call them? If you treat a prospect just like another deal, why shouldn't they treat you just like another salesperson and ignore your messages in the process? Building relationships with your prospects is your top priority, and building rapport starts with making each prospect feel like they know you and you know them. So, personalized messages to them are the best way to get off on the right foot. Let me just give you an example. Every time I email a prospect, the first thing I put in my subject line is their name. Regardless of what follows it, that's the first thing I put in the subject heading, their name. Joe, what loads are moving today? Sue, what loads are moving this week? Always start off with their name. That is called personalization. The best freight agents put in that extra time to get to know each of their prospects before they even reach out to them. I'm telling you again, the best freight sales agents do that. They learn about their business, they know their market, and can start to understand, based on their research, if and how their freight service can assist their prospects. So, when in doubt, personalize, personalize, and personalize a whole lot more. So the third indicator, you didn't personalize your message. The fourth indicator that makes you scare your prospect away is you didn't provide any value. That's indicator number 4. You didn't provide any value. Just as an example, just checking in, that email, it's dead. Don't do it. Just the same as just thought I'd try again phone message. Do not do those things. They provide no value whatsoever. Every time a freight sales agent reaches out to a prospect, they must provide something of value, whatever it is. It depends. It all depends on who your prospect is and what they actually do. As Andy Paul points out in his book, Amp Up Your Sales, ensuring that your prospects see a return on their time invested in you is critical. So by failing to provide any initial value, you're only encouraging your prospects to just flat out delete your emails or voicemails before they even read or listen to them. Provide value, provide value. They know there's nothing important there for them. Not providing any value kills a relationship before it even starts. Here are several easy ways for a freight agent to provide some value. Just real quick ways for you as an agent to provide value from the get-go. It could be something as simple as sending along a testimonial. Real easy. Or some media coverage of your prospect's business or the market that they're in. People love content, especially reviews on what they can relate to. Giving your prospects something understandable to read and relate to is the easiest way to provide value without coming off as pushy. So, indicator number 4, as I said earlier, is you didn't provide any value. Indicator number 5, the information you provided was not clear. That's the company info that you send them initially, typically on the first email that I teach you when you come in as a beginning freight sales agent with us. In early stages, you must keep it simple when building relationships with your prospects. Clear and concise information around price and functionality is a major key in keeping prospects interested in your freight service. Unclear information only scares prospects away because they're unsure of what they're actually getting from you. I can't say it again, how important it is to be clear in the information that you give your prospects. If your prospect isn't clear on what your freight service is providing and how it's going to assist their business, they're just not going to use you as a freight sales agent. It's that simple. Your prospect has their own specific journey to get through before they decide to utilize you. And why shouldn't they? They have many, many different other agents calling them throughout the day and throughout the week. They may gather tons of information, talk to as many people as they can, read everything they come across, and then make the call to you. So they have a lot of information to analyze. The more clear you make it, the better you look. Then you have to be ready to move for them. Remember, sales is all about assisting. It's not about closing. Or let me say this, freight sales is all about assisting. It's really not about the close. It's about assisting when they require your assistance. So number 5, the information you provided wasn't clear. That was number 5. Bear with me, folks. Number 6, you used hard closing tactics. As I said earlier, freight sales is really not about closing, but you used hard closing tactics. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, agents should never force a prospect into any business, especially your own freight business. Whether it's offering a freight deal that's only good for the day or demanding that they complete our customer information setup sheet, now hard selling tactics flat out scare prospects away. Being pushy only serves to annoy prospects and causes them to turn against you. As Steve W. Martin points out, It's human nature to resist high-pressure tactics. And really think about it. How often do we want a telemarketer calling us at night, attempting to put high-pressure selling tactics on us? I mean, we wouldn't want it either. So prospects may do research, they may gain a consensus, conduct a quick trial load with you, and then commit to your freight service. So basically, even if they give you that first load, they're still testing you out. No business is guaranteed. As a freight agent, you have to guide and not force prospects through your funnel on their terms and not yours. Remember, it's all about their terms and not your terms. So, indicator number 6, you used hard closing tactics. Indicator number 7, the last indicator, is you made big asks way too soon. You asked for the order way too soon. That's something you typically can't do in our profession on the first, second call. You've got to build that relationship. So that 7th indicator is you made big asks way too soon. Let me explain a little bit about that. There's nothing quite like the employee who accepts a job. Nothing quite like the employee who accepts a job, this is a good example, then asks for a raise after a week into it. Think about it. You or that employee that accepts a job, he's into it for a week and then asks for a raise right away. That is an ask way too soon. And making the big ask early before you provide any value isn't just scary for prospects, it's detrimental to your building the relationship with them. As the saying goes, every time we add value, the greater the probability we'll get something in return. Every time we add value, the greater the probability that we'll get something in return. With this in mind, provide value first, ask later. Provide value first, ask later. Today's prospect doesn't have time or patience for these old school sales tactics that I talked about earlier. The most successful freight sales agents today are focused on a new playbook built on relationships and providing value to their prospects first. So, real quickly guys, again, indicators that you scared your prospect away. I'm just going to go over these real quickly. The first one, you called or you emailed way too often. Number 2, you didn't let them make the next move. You made the first move. Let them make the next move. Number 3, you didn't personalize your messages. You kept using the same old script. Number 4, you didn't provide any value. You didn't, fill them in on a particular freight lane. Let them know that freight in that area is typically slow this type of year, typically fast this type of year, or high this type of year. But number 4, you didn't provide any value. Number 5, the information you provided to them, typically on your company, wasn't clear. So what did they do? They just passed you on by. Number 6, you used hard closing tactics. That's number 6. You came across hard. You came across pushy. Number 7, you made those big asks way too soon. And I'm saying asks, A-S-K-S. You made big asks way too soon. So those are 7 indicators that you scared your prospect away. If you feel that your prospect isn't coming back to you, well, there's a good indication. Go through your notes, go through, the calls that you had with them. Did you perform any of those while you were attempting to build that relationship with your freight sales or your freight prospect? Great topic for today. Keep that in mind when you start making your calls tomorrow. Let's go over our Remember series to finish up my call today. As you know, again, scroll down to those emails on the bottom of your email. Scroll down to the attachments that I send you. We're going to go over the first Remember document, which states, remember when you're calling your prospects and customers, basically, what's easier than success? I mean, think about it. What's easier than success? Is your goal to be successful? Well, if that's what it is, nothing is easier than success. You must put forth effort. You got to build that foundation. Nothing comes easier in life if it holds a high value point in our mindset. What's easier than success? Nothing. Just get that through your head right now. If your goal is to become successful in this profession, you must build a foundation. You must contact the marketplace. You must build relationships. There's no way around it. So nothing is easy in this profession, plain and simple. Let's go ahead and move on to that next document. I believe it'll be the fourth document. And that is, after you open it up, remember when you're calling your prospects and customers that success, I'm talking a little bit about success here to finish up this call today. Success is one. If your desire is to be successful in life, in business, or in anything, success is your duty. Success is your duty. It's up to you to start the ball rolling. It's your duty. Number two, success is your obligation. If you're going to be successful in anything, it's your obligation to be successful. Basically, nobody's going to take you through the process. You have to take yourself through the process and attach yourself to a lot of winners, a lot of people that are highly educated in the profession that you're seeking along the way. Number three, success is your responsibility. You are responsible for becoming successful in anything that you are. So just reviewing one more time, remember when you're calling your prospects and customers, success is your duty, success is your obligation, and success is your responsibility. How's that for some motivation today on the call? Let's go ahead and move on to our fifth attachment. Our fifth attachment, go ahead and open that up. You'll see that it reads, remember when you're calling your prospects and customers that if you're not fulfilling your full potential, you're not going to be happy. One more time, if you're not fulfilling your potential, your full potential, you're not going to be happy. When we're created, God instilled in us potential. He instilled in us an urge to do something, whether it be to serve Him and also to serve others. If you're not fulfilling that full potential, I'll tell you right now, you're not going to be happy. What do? You get up, you get on the phone, you start making contact with the marketplace and start fulfilling your potential. If you don't, plain and simple, you're gonna wonder, gee, where did life go? Where did time go? If only I should have done that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. That's what leads to unhappiness, when you don't fulfill your full potential. Remember that when you're calling your prospects and customers. Let's move on to our sixth attachment. Remember when you're calling your prospects and customers, the best way to deal with objections, and I'm talking about that in today's call, the best way to deal with objections is to prevent them from developing in the first place. Typically, when we scare our customers away, they're really objecting to our, not only are they objecting to our actions, but they're flat out rejecting us if we've actually scared them away. What do? Well, the best way to deal with these objections that you get is to prevent them from developing in the first place. So what do? Well, first of all, you go over this list of 7 indicators that you scared your prospect away, and you drill these indicators into your mind. Make sure that you change your ways when you get on the phone call tomorrow. So the best way to deal with these objections, people objecting you, people avoiding you, is to prevent them from developing in the first place. Great way to do that. Go to my website, tedkeysonline.com, and listen to all the information there you can to overcome objections. That's number 6. Number 7, last document that I have for you today. Remember when you're calling your prospects and customers, just go ahead and open that up. The only way to fail is to quit. Let me say that again. The only way to fail is to quit. What do I have to say about that? Basically, never quit, no matter what happens. Always keep moving toward your goals. Set your goals, set them high, move toward them. The only way to fail is to quit. Flat out, never quit, no matter what happens. Great topic for today, indicators that you scared your freight customer away. Just in wrapping up this call here today, do you have a desire to receive a personal invite to my free Tuesday conference call? Well, the way how you do that to receive my personal invite is to go to tedkeysonline.com/contacts. Go ahead and listen to my video that I have there. But the main goal is to enter your contact details. Enter your contact details on. You've just taken a tremendous step forward by watching and applying my Tuesday conference call highlight. Do you desire to earn and learn with our top freight team and Christian-based office? Yes? We're searching for a self-starter who's serious, motivated, and ready to take action right now. Is that you? Go to tedkeysonline.com/contacts and enter your contact details. We provide top-notch freight agent sales training to you. Then you deliver those same skills with confidence to the freight industry marketplace. I'll talk to you soon.